Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to RBN Hardware. Today we'll be taking a look at the best 2K and 1440p gaming monitors for $300 in 2022. Now you might be a bit surprised by hearing this, but you can actually get a ton of monitor for just $300 that will work excellent for any type of gaming, whether it be racing, demanding AAA titles or fast-paced esport games and FPS shooters. $300 is the perfect sweet spot in terms of price to performance. Now, if you're going to invest in a monitor in 2022, 2K is definitely the way to go. Nowadays, most graphics cards are capable of running your favorite game at this resolution as well, as I have shown in lots of my past gaming PC builds. $300 is also getting you a lot further than what you might think. With some monitors on the list so good, you can perfectly use it for advanced color accurate photo and video editing, which was completely unheard of just a few years ago. Now, if you're wondering which of these monitors I would personally pick, you want to stick around till the end of the video, where I'll be leaving my own personal recommendation. Let's not waste any more time, let's take a look at my first recommendation. It comes from Acer and it's called XV272U. Let's start having a look at these specifications before going over some pros and cons, which should give you a better sense whether this monitor is for you or not. So this is a 27 inches 2K IPS screen that has a refresh rate of 170Hz and a 1 millisecond response time. For refresh rate or tear prevention, we find both AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync compatible, so it won't really matter if you have an NVIDIA or an AMD card, you can enjoy a tear-free experience, which is great. Now, having anti-tear prevention on your monitor is a feature you definitely don't want to skip over. Now, having a look at the pros and cons, on the plus side we see that this monitor is perfectly suitable for esport games and first-person shooters. This is thanks to the fantastic rapid fast IPS panel that is ultra fast in terms of response time, and combined with 170Hz makes every image nice and crisp without blur or so-called image smearing. Furthermore, the stand is brilliant. It allows for all kinds of adjustment, making it easier to place the screen in an ideal viewing position. On the downside, most of the monitor is plastic and the stand could have been a little bit more sturdy, but on the flip side it does offer VESA mount support, so yeah, that's pretty good. The screen doesn't offer the best contrast, and that is a known issue on most IPS panels. Now, unless you're planning on playing at midnight without any lights, you're gonna be perfectly fine here. Overall, a brilliant monitor that I'm happy to recommend to most gamers out there. Now, if you do prefer to play a lot in dark environments, well, in that case I would rather recommend looking into a VA-based monitor. And there's a reason for it, I'm gonna explain it in just a second. Now, Samsung has a pretty good alternative here called Odyssey G5. This is a 27 inches 1440p 170Hz curved screen that is perfect for any darkroom gaming environment thanks to fantastic contrast and black levels. Unfortunately, as with most VA monitor, it doesn't come without flaws. Smearing is a known phenomenon on VA panels, and this can be quite noticeable in specific games. Now, some people can find this quite annoying and others don't really care too much about it, so yeah, I guess it comes down to what type of games you're planning on playing and if you do care about it or not. Now, personally, I would generally avoid this monitor unless you're looking for a cheap curved 1440p screen to play on at night. For gaming specifically, this monitor can work just great, but because of its rather slow panel, I wouldn't recommend it for competitive gaming. Furthermore, the stand isn't great and the screen suffers from backlight bleed and colors do leave a bit to ask for, so yeah, overall not ideal for photo editing, but again, for gaming in dark environment, that is where this monitor shines the most. Next up we have this one from ASUS called Tubebuddy. This is a 27-inch IPS-based 2K monitor with a 1 millisecond response time and 165Hz refresh rate. Unlike the previous monitor, this screen also comes with AMD FreeSync and NVIDIA G-Sync compatible. Now, what makes the monitor stand out is that it has a super fast display, making it perfect for competitive gaming. It also has superb ergonomics, and as a bonus, it is also pretty nice looking. Now this is obviously my personal preference, but I really like the design. The monitor also works great for console gaming, which means that even if you would like to play at 60 Hz, the monitor can still remain its fast response time even if you don't play at 165 Hz. Everything will feel fast and snappy without any kind of delay or lag. On the downside, black levels tend to look a bit grayish and colors do lack a bit of color depth, but other than that guys, a brilliant monitor at a very affordable price. Let's take a look at our final recommendation coming from Gigabyte called M27Q. I've actually mentioned this monitor in a past video, but I felt I had to mention it again because it's really that good, and here's why. Let's quickly head over to the specifications of the monitor. We find a 27-inch 2K IPS screen with a remarkable 0.5 response time and 170Hz refresh rate. Now, Gigabyte solves this with a so-called super speed IPS that achieves lower response time by using a thinner liquid crystal layer and higher driving voltages than a standard IPS screen. In terms of stand, it does offer height and tilt, which is a bit disappointing, but certainly not a deal breaker. In a previous video I made about this monitor, I actually made a mistake where I mentioned the stand and said it offered pivot and swivel, which is unfortunately false, and I'm sorry for that mistake. Anyway, on the pro side, thanks to the ultra fast display, makes this monitor a match made in heaven for fast-paced gaming, and thanks to great screen calibration out of the box, allows for advanced color grade photo editing as well, and these are attributes totally unheard of for this price range just a few years ago. And if I had to pick between these four screens, I would most likely end up choosing the M27Q from Gigabyte. It has an IPS panel, so naturally colors and viewing angles are gonna be top of the line. Because colors are so accurate, it will work for any kinds of mixed usage, which is always something worth having in mind. Unless you're only planning on using a monitor for gaming, the Gigabyte monitor works excellent for any type of use case. For ergonomics, it doesn't disappoint either. It's got a pretty good stand with both tilt and height adjustment. Finally, because of its super speedy IPS panel, makes it incredibly quick and snappy with no noticeable blur or ghosting or even smearing. Now, for any questions guys, feel free to leave them down below. I will be back with a brand new video in just a few days. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.